And so as we get started on our backs, any position that feels okay in your body, just start to settle in. Starting to arrive into your practice. Arriving into your body and your breath. Scanning from the tips of the toes all the way up through the crown of the head. Notice if you're holding any tension and try to send the breath into those spaces. And then from that place of awareness, start to turn to your breath. Taking deep inhales through the nose. Slow exhales out. Inhaling through the nose. And a full breath out. Take one more cycle of breath. And then we'll slowly start to take the arms out to a T or Y. Gently start to take the knees towards the chest and let the legs gently fall over to the left for a spinal twist. Nice. Gaze is over your right shoulder. And come back through to center. Gentle spinal twist. So just let the legs fall wherever they land and coming over onto the right side and gaze over your left shoulder. Coming back through to center. Come onto your right side, onto your side. One arm will be out long, and you can kind of look at me if you're not sure what to do. And then your left hand will come on top of your right. And then you'll slowly start to open out through the arm. And then gently bring it back in. Inhale to open out the arm, feeling this broadness across the chest, maybe that stretch as you open out. And then exhale, slowly close the hand. Inhale to open. Nice. And exhale, slowly close. Last time, inhale, open. And exhale to close. And then from here, as long as you have room, I don't really have the room, but you'll slowly start to take giant circles with the hand moving all the way around, moving the shoulder joint, kind of like a sundial. Yep. You might go the other way if you want to. And then from here, slowly start to come back onto your back. Press your heels down into the ground and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. You can either stay exactly where you are, maybe bring that left foot in a little bit closer towards your seat and press your right hand to the outside of your right thigh for gentle hip stretch, or you can catch behind the belly of the thigh for a figure four pose to gently open out through the hip. And then we'll slowly start to release that left foot back down, press the right foot down into the ground to meet it, and then slowly start to come onto your left side. So we're switching sides. Left arm goes out long. Right hand presses on top of left palm, and then inhale, open. Feeling that broadness across the chest. And exhale to close. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Just starting to move at your own pace, maybe pausing where you feel that stretch. We'll take one more round. After that final round, you'll slowly start to take those sundial arms with the right hand, moving the shoulder joint, going in big circles, maybe pressing down onto that right thigh or outer hip as you kind of make that circle. You can also start to switch if you went one way, go the other. Just going as fast or as slow as you want to. And then from here, slowly start to come back through onto your back, pressing the feet down into the ground. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Bring your right heel towards the seat, and you can gently press into the left inner thigh or lift the right foot off of the ground to catch onto your right shin. Just a gentle figure four pose. And then from here, slowly start to release the right foot down onto the ground. Your left foot will meet it. Come onto one side into position, and then slowly come up to your seated position at the top of your mats. Taking a moment to kind of settle in, letting your shoulders soften down towards your pocket. Take one hand to your heart and one to your belly. Take a deep breath in and a deep exhale out. If it feels okay, take one more full breath in. Full exhale out. Bring hands to heart center. Press your thumbs in towards your heart space, and you can set an intention or dedication for your practice. So that could be a word or phrase that you want to carry with you throughout class. Maybe sending some love or good thoughts to someone or something that's close to your heart. We'll open our session with one collective breath together, inhaling through the nose, and then let it go. Slowly start to blink your eyes open if they've closed, sitting up tall, and then getting into our side bodies. So on your next inhale, right hand comes down next to the hip. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, and then slowly take it over to the right. See if you can ground down through both sit bones. And then come back through to center. Left hand comes down, reach the right arm up. Exhale, side bend to the left, feeling this in your right side body. We'll do that 2 more times on each side. Come back through to center, right hand comes down. Left arm comes up and over. Come back through to center, reach the arm up, inhale. Exhale, side bend to the left. Last time on each side. Then come back through to center last time, taking it over to the left on the right side body. Come back through to center, hands will clasp, take them behind your head. So this you will feel in your upper back and your shoulders, but what you'll do is you'll hug your elbows back, lift up through the rib cage, and then ground your sit bones down. See if you can squeeze your shoulders together. Your head could go back just a little bit, just enough so that you feel that engagement through the upper back and the shoulders. Full breath in. Full exhale out. And then slowly release that tension. And then you'll slowly start to take side bends from one side to the other. And you can kind of go as fast or as slow as you want to. You're thinking about that elbow almost pressing into your rib cage, but it doesn't have to go all the way down. And then we'll slowly start to release. Interlace the fingers at the back, just like this. And then squeeze your shoulders together. Yeah, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And you can let your head kind of go up towards the ceiling if you want to, or tuck your chin slightly towards your chest. Feel that stretch. Slowly start to release the hands. Hands will come onto the thighs, and we'll take a couple of cat-cows from our seated position. So what that will look like is we'll inhale to straighten, and to exhale, curl it in, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, lengthen for your cow pose. And exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest. Take a couple more rounds on your own. You can even add in like going from side to side if that feels okay. And then we'll slowly start to come to that seated position and just working a little bit with stabilizing or bringing it back to our pelvic floor. You're going to imagine as if there's something right underneath your seat. And then as we inhale, what happens is your pelvis widens. And as you exhale, your pelvis lifts. And so we're going to be imagining, usually I say like a blueberry is like moving up and down like an elevator through your body, like with your pelvic floor. And so what will happen is as you exhale, the blueberry lifts, and as you inhale, it lowers. And what we want to do is keep that kind of even and slow. And sometimes it's, we get told to like use our pelvic floor or like Kegels, like to like hold your pee in. And we can do that, but we can also not like squeeze everything, but we can just use a slight lift, which is more what we're looking for. That squeezing can actually lead to too tight of a pelvic floor. And so we want to find that balance. And so what that will look like is I'll walk us through it for a couple of rounds. And then we'll kind of do it on our own. So imagine like that blueberry is right underneath your seat. And you'll take a full breath in. Full exhale out. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, pick up that blueberry from the ground floor and lift it up to the first floor. Inhale, bring the blueberry back down to the ground floor. Exhale, lift the blueberry from the ground floor to the first floor and to the second floor. Inhale, lower it down to the first floor and the ground floor. Exhale, lift blueberry up from the ground floor, first floor, second floor. Inhale to lower it down. Exhale, lift blueberry up slowly from ground, first, second, and third, and then inhale, slowly lower down, second, first, and ground. So you'll start to do this on your own. If you want to lengthen that, maybe going to the fourth floor, you could also do that. But on each exhale, slowly lift up. Pull your belly button towards your heart space. And as you inhale, slowly lower it down. Take one more cycle at your own pace. And after your last cycle, just come back to that smooth, steady breath. Maybe you start to take a couple of neck circles or shoulder rolls. And then from here, we'll slowly come onto our hands and our knees into a tabletop position. So as you're ready, if you need to and you need a little bit more padding, if you have like a towel or a blanket, you can place it underneath your knees or fold your mat over hot dog style. Sometimes it's needed, sometimes it's not, but we'll come onto our hands and our knees, wrist stack underneath shoulders, hip stack underneath knees. And from here, we'll just start with a couple of cat-cows. So inhale to drop belly, lift gaze. And then round through the spine, chin to chest. You can kind of repeat that a few times. And as we're doing these cat-cows, even though this is a postnatal class, so we will be doing like some stuff that you see in yoga classes, like standing postures, maybe some of those low push-ups, chaturangas. Know that you can always take what you want and leave what you don't, whatever feels good in your body, especially as you're starting to just move around a little bit more. And so child's pose is always an option, or any other pose that feels like a resting pose for you. So that might be coming onto your back, feet planted. You could also come into child's pose, knees as one as the mat or knees together, press hips back. Your practice, your choice each time. So from our tabletop position, slowly starting to build into our core. So spread your fingers wide, take your right hand forward, pause. Yep. And then take your left leg back. Balance here for 3. Drop your left big toe down towards your right inner thigh to square the hips off. 2. On 1, right hand comes down, left knee comes down. And then take your left arm forward. Press through your right palm of your hand, right leg reaches back. Draw your right big toe down towards the ground. Holding here in this position. Pull your navel up towards your spine or towards the heart space. And then slowly start to come down. All right, we're gonna do that one more time, but this time adding on if you want to, or you can stay in that static position. Right arm reaches forward, left arm or left leg reaches back, excuse me. And then if you want to, you can take right elbow to left knee, curl it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. Last time, inhale. Exhale, curl it in. Nice, inhale. And exhale, right hand comes down, left knee comes down. Left arm reaches forward, right leg reaches back, pause here. Stay here, or you can curl it in, left elbow to right knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, find length. And exhale, left hand comes down, right knee comes down. At this point, take one round of cat-cows just to kind of reset. And then tuck the toes under. We're gonna lift our knees and our shins off of the ground 2 to 4 inches. Pausing here for 3, yeah, 2, and 1. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe you pedal out the feet. Take anything that you need. And then slowly start to walk the feet and the hands to meet. And we roll up to a stand. We'll walk up to the top of our mats. So we're going to warm things up in the beginning, but we'll kind of slow it down to start and add things on. So on your next inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. And then keep your hands planted. Take a step back with your left foot. Low lunge, or you could take that step forward. Yeah. Drop your left knee down. Reach the arms up, low crescent lunge. Taking a moment, draw the tailbone down and then press your left hip forward. From here, steeple grip the fingers, thumbs and index fingers to touch, find length on the inhale. And exhale, side bend over to the right. Press your left hip forward. You're gonna feel this in your left hip flexor. Take a full breath in. Full exhale out, come back through to center, reaching the arms up. Exhale, hands frame out your right foot. Step back to your tabletop position, and you can either stay in your tabletop position, take one round of cat-cows, or you can drop down to your knees and then squeeze your elbows in for your chaturanga. Nice. Inhale to your upward facing dog, and then send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Full exhale out. Your right foot will step forward and your left foot will meet it, forward fold. Arms reach up and overhead. Hands to heart center or by your sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to your flat back. Keep the left foot forward. Take a step back with your right foot. Drop the right knee down, low lunge. Inhale, arms come up. So left knee stacking over left ankle, and then the right hip is right over the knee. Steeple grip the fingers, find length on the inhale. Exhale, side bend to your left. Keep pressing that right hip forward to feel your hip flexor. And then come back through to center. Hands will frame out your left foot, step back to your tabletop position. Either move through your cat-cow or lift the feet off of the ground, squeeze the elbows in, chaturanga. Inhale to your upward facing dog if you're flowing, to your downward facing dog. And I'm doing them a little bit differently because I'm like 17 and a half weeks pregnant. And so it's really hard for me to do up dog now. So I don't do it all the way anymore because it's too much on the stomach. But you can always do the full expression if that's like feels good on your chest and your front body. Start to look forward and your left foot will step forward and your right foot will meet it, forward fold. Arms reach up and overhead. And bring your hands to heart center or by your sides. We're gonna do one more sun salutation, and that will be probably like the most up and down that we do for the practice. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. And then plant the palms, step back to your high plank. You can stay in your high plank, or you can lower down to your knees. Full breath in. Squeeze the elbows in, halfway down. Upward facing dog. And then send your hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Settling in. The backs of the legs or hamstrings, like if they feel really tight, Walk your feet up a couple of inches, a little bit wider, and then press your chest towards your thighs and bend into your knees a little bit. That will create a little bit more space and not pull so much on your low back and your hamstrings. Start to let your feet and your hands meet however they want to. And then we'll slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll come to standing at the top of our mats. So from here, take your feet about hips width distance apart. Take your arms out and then drop the seat back. So like a squat. It's kind of like a chair, but we're going more into a squat. And then bring your palms together and steeple grip the fingers. Squatting forward for 3, 2. On 1, shift all of the way into your right foot. Maybe you pick the left heel up. And then slowly, if you want to, drag it back and we come into a high crescent lunge. Nice. Full breath in. On the exhale, still getting into our core and our balance, reach the arms forward like a power lunge. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, reach up, high crescent lunge. Settling into the legs one more time. Reach the arms forward, power lunge. Hinge at your hips, reach forward. Inhale to reach up. And then exhale. Slowly start to unwind into your warrior 2. So left foot comes parallel to the back edge of your mat. And your right knee is tracking over right ankle. Arms go out to a T. Inhale to flip your right palm and reverse your warrior reach back. And then exhale to your extended side angle. See if you can let your right elbow hover over the right thigh, left arm reaches up. Getting more into our obliques. Nice. Inhale to reverse, reach back. Exhale, extended side angle. See if you can let your right elbow hover. Last time, inhale, reverse. Exhale, right arm hovers. Left arm reaches overhead. Inhale to come up. And straighten through your front leg, coming into triangle pose. So pin your left hip back. Start to reach forward, forward, forward. Your right hand will drop wherever it lands. Lift the left arm up. Beautiful. You can stay here, or if you want to get into our obliques, you can reach both arms overhead like you're holding a beach ball for 3. Nice. 2. And 1, come back up. Take the toes, spin them parallel, and then hands come to your waist. Inhale to look up, exhale to fold. So hands will come down to the ground. You can bend slightly into the knees if this is a lot on the backs of the legs. Yeah. Then let the neck and head be heavy. Press into the outer edges of your feet. And then slowly start to come back up. And then pinch your heels in, toes are out, and we're coming into a goddess squat right here. So hands can come onto the thighs just for a moment. And if you want to, you could sway from side to side. What I want us to do is thinking about knitting in our core and lifting up. And then from here, goalpost the arms, 90-degree bends. And then exhale to lift up. So knit up through the rib cage and inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up, lift belly button towards heart space. Inhale to lower. Last time, exhale to lift up. And lower down, inhale. Straighten, last time. And then hands catch your waist. And then we're taking our right foot forward and step back with your left foot as much as you want to, pressing your left heel down into the ground, squaring the hips off. Take an inhale. And then you might need to like shorten your stance even more and then start to forward fold for pyramid pose. So this is for our hamstrings. So hands can come down to the ground or blocks. Yep. And just kind of let the neck and head be heavy. And then think about pressing your left hip forward as you pull your right hip back. Then slowly start to look forward. And then let your left foot meet the right. Feet are hips width distance apart. Slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Till you come up to standing Tadasana at the top of your mats. Toes are pointed forward, feet are hips width distance apart. Reaching the arms forward, dropping the hips back. Steeple grip the fingers, point forward, drop into the hips. Knit up through the rib cage, feel that core engage, and then slowly shift all of the weight into your left foot. Maybe you start to let that right foot hover just for a moment, and then slowly start to slide it back. Nice. High crescent lunge. So getting into those power lunges, if it was hard to stay in your legs, heel toe either foot wider so that you're on train tracks, not on a tightrope. And then slowly start to reach the arms forward for your power lunge. Hovering the torso, feeling that belly button move towards your spine. Inhale to reach up, high crescent lunge. Exhale to forward fold, power lunge, reach the arms forward. Inhale to come up. Exhale out to your warrior two. Fan, open up the arms. So just as we did before, inhale, flip left palm. Reverse your warrior, reach back. And exhale to your extended side angle. Let your left elbow hover. Reach the right arm overhead. If you want to, inhale to reverse. Exhale to let it hover. Inhale, come back up. Warrior two. And then straighten through your front leg. Shorten your stance as needed, coming into our triangle pose. So reach forward, forward, forward. Left hand drops down, right arm reaches up. Use that lift of your rib cage to pull everything in. And then if you want to, reach both arms overhead to bring this into the obliques. For 3, 2, come back up. And then take the left toes, spin them parallel to the front edge of your mat. So from here, shoulders, interlace the fingers at the back, punch knuckles down. If this is too much, you can always grab opposite elbows. And then start to forward fold, hinge from your hips. Same, let your neck and head be heavy. And then slowly start to come back up. Pinch the heels in, toes are out. You could widen your stance out even more. You can get into your hips, into this goddess pose, maybe swaying from side to side. And this time our arms will come out to a goal pose. And then we take our left forearm to our left thigh, right arm reaches overhead. And then come back through to center, goal post the arms. Right forearm, right thigh, left arm reaches over. Come back through to center at your own pace. Take it 2 more times on each side. Remembering to breathe. We're doing lots of oblique stuff to start to get into our deeper core muscles. And one last time on each side. And then come back through to center. Exhale to lift up. Inhale to lower. Exhale, reach up. And inhale, lower. Imagine as you exhale to lift up, your heels are pulling in towards one another. And as you inhale, lower, they're slowly opening out like they're opposition. Take one more round. And then slowly reach up. Hands will catch your waist. Left toes point forward. Take a big step up to square the hips off. Find an alleyway in between your left and your right foot. Take an inhale, find length. Coming into our pyramid pose, start to forward fold. Hands can reach down to blocks. If you don't have blocks, books are another lovely option. Or even hands to frame out the feet and then tent up through the fingertips. And then as you're ready, let your right foot meet the left. Grab opposite elbows at the top of your mat and sway in ragdoll. Neck and head are heavy. Shake your head yes or no. Unhinge the jaw. And then slowly release the hands down to the ground. When you're ready, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time till we come up to standing Tadasana at the top of our mats. From here, one standing balance on each side. So getting into a little bit of our hips and also balance. Bring hands to heart center. Shift all of the weight into your left foot and take the right knee out in front. Pause here. Stand tall in your left leg. Zip up through the midline. And then as you're ready, flex your right toes and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Other option, you could take a tree pose. Right sole of foot to the ankle, calf, upper, inner thigh, yeah. Just avoid the knee joint. And then when you're ready, start to grow your tree. So slightly getting into our hips. See if you can roll that right knee back as long as there's no pain in the hips to feel that stretch. And if you wobble, that's totally okay. Slowly start to bring hands to heart center. Take that right knee out in front. Stand tall for 3. Nice. 2. And 1. Place that right foot down onto the ground and shake it out. Take any wiggles that you need. And then we'll slowly switch sides. As you're ready, hands to heart center. Shift all of the weight into your right foot. Pick your left knee up. Stand tall for one-legged Tadasana. And then as you're ready, tree pose. Or if you want to, cross, left ankle over right thigh. Just as much as your left foot is pressing into your right leg is pressing right back into your left foot for that opposition. And then slowly start to take the left knee out in front, stand tall for 3, 2, nice, and 1, slowly take it down. And then from here, we'll slowly transition onto our seats. Just a little bit of ab work and also hip work. You'll stamp your feet into the ground. Are you doing okay? Thumbs up or okay. I guess I only gave you one option. So feet will plant into the ground, bending into the knees. And so we're gonna take like these boat poses, but instead we're just gonna think about engaging through our low back. So lifting up through our low back, hands will come alongside, or you could even like press them back here if you need to. And then as you're ready, start to pick your right foot up and hover for 3. Don't lean back, try to lean forward 2. And 1, come down. Sit up tall, tidy up through the spine and pick the left foot up for 3, 2, and 1. And then from here, imagine, or actually you have blocks, so you can do it. If you don't have blocks, because this is recording as well, you can always imagine like you have this block in between your legs and holding here. You're gonna feel this in your outer glutes. Sitting up tall, hands come alongside the body. Hold here, squeeze for 5, and it feels really different for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. You could let your legs go long and kind of knock them. So by squeezing towards the center line, you start to feel this more in your glutes, outer hips a little bit more. Take your soles of your feet to touch for a butterfly pose. Hands can either come around your ankles or they could come to the shoelace sides of the feet. Sit up tall. And then as you're ready, start to take your forehead towards your feet. So you could round through your upper back. You could use your elbows as leverage to gently press into your inner thighs to open up a little bit more through the inner groin, the hips, but you don't have to. That's just an option. And then as you're ready, slowly start to come up. And we're gonna do one more of those boat poses with the block in between our knees. You could either do it horizontally, I guess this is horizontally, or vertically. Horizontally, I think, is a little more challenging because there's like more space, but either one is totally okay. So from here, tidy up through the spine, hands will come alongside the body, setting up, squeezing for 5, or imagining like you're squeezing towards the midline. And maybe you imagine like that right foot lifts up and then lower. Then imagine like your left foot lifts up just for a little and then lower, and then squeeze, sit up tall for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Take the legs out long, kind of knock the knees. And then we're gonna come onto our knees and our shins, and we're just gonna do 2 kind of back bends, but more chest openers. So what that will look like is my knees will be about hips width distance apart. I'll demo. And we're just gonna take our hands to our low back and then press up. So these are camel poses. We lift up. If you want to, you could take the head back and roll the shoulders back. Yeah, does that feel okay? Okay. And then as you're ready, you'll slowly start to sit the hips back and you'll come onto your heels again. Yep. And we'll do that one more time. So squeeze your glutes, hands come to the back. Exhale all the air out, and then inhale, lift up. Feel the tops of your legs engage as you start to take that chest opener. Rolling the shoulders back, squeezing the elbows together. And then slowly come down, sit back onto the heels. And then from here, we have the option to either come into a child's pose, Or if you want to get into the shoulders and like the front body, two options. First option, this one is not quite as deep as the second option. So you'll take kind of like your feet together, and then your knees will go out not quite as wide as a child's pose. You'll clasp your hands together. Elbows go forward, and then you press the forehead down and the elbows down. And you're gonna use your elbows as that leverage. You should feel this in like the armpits and the triceps in the front of the chest. And then for this deeper variation, it's puppy dog pose. So from your hands and your knees, keep the hips over your knees and you walk your hands forward, dropping the chest down and forehead down. If that's too much, you can place a block underneath, like the chest. It can like be a little awkward though with props, but you can always use them. And the name of the game for puppy dog pose, or even the first variation that I gave, is to like try not to hold tension as much as you can. So I know it can be a lot, but see if you can breathe into your shoulders and the upper back, the triceps. Breathe into your front body. Taking a few more rounds of breath wherever you are. And then we slowly start to sit back to the heels once more. And then roll your shoulders out. Maybe take a couple of neck rolls. And then from here, coming into a couple of hip openers. So depending on how open your hips are, you could either come into a pigeon pose from this side. Right shin will come parallel to the front edge of your mat, walk the left leg back, or you could go straight onto your back. Yeah, and come through for figure four pose on your back. Yep. And then flex your right toes just a little bit. And then from here, you can kind of look to see what I'm doing. We're gonna come into a shoelace pose from our backs. So you're just sliding your right knee on top of the left, flexing both feet, and then gently pull down onto the outsides of the legs, like the calves or the ankles or maybe the feet. Yeah, and for this one, flex the toes. Yeah, and you should feel this in your outer right hip and glutes. And then slowly start to unwind the legs. Hug both knees towards the chest to reset. And then we'll switch sides. Left ankle crosses over the right. And reach for the belly of the right thigh or the right shin. Take a few more breaths. This figure 4 pose on your back. And then slowly start to cross that left knee over the right. Flex the feet. Catch on to the outsides of the feet or the ankles, or maybe the outsides of the calves or shins, and gently pull down. Slowly start to hug both knees towards the chest, unwinding. And we'll take a happy baby, slide the hands to the insides, outsides of the feet, or maybe the ankles. As much as you want to, rock from side to side, or gently pull down, knees towards the armpits. And then slowly hug knees back towards chest. Keep the right knee hugged towards the chest, and extend the left leg long, pressing the left heel down into the ground. Start to take little circles with that right hip, moving it around. And then switch the way that you're going. So if you're going counterclockwise, go clockwise. And then slowly start to take that right leg straight towards the ceiling. Catch behind the belly of the right thigh. Flex the toes for a hamstring stretch. Keep pressing the left heel down into the ground. Slowly start to hug right knee towards the chest. And extend the right leg long. Just notice how the right side and the left side feels, or how there are differences or similarities. And then when you're ready, slowly start to hug the left knee in as you press your right heel down into the ground. Take those hip circles with the left hip, making tiny zeros or O's with your knee. And then you'll switch the circles to counterclockwise or clockwise, feeling the low back press into the ground. Extend left leg long, pressing left leg up towards the ceiling, and grab behind the belly of the left thigh or maybe the calf for the hamstring stretch. And then slowly start to hug left knee in. And extend left leg long. Notice any similarities or differences between your left and your right side. Taking a moment, take the palms down towards the ground. Ground yourself down. Take a full breath in. Full exhale out. Slowly releasing. Take any last movements that you need. Maybe another happy baby or a spinal twist, or just taking and windshield wiping the legs back and forth. Any final movements before we come into our final Shavasana, our well-earned rest. And this evening, or I guess it's still morning, I'll be guiding us through a meditation from our Shavasana, so you can take as much space up as you want on your mat, closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And it will be a body scan from the crown of the head down to the toes, tension release scan. So starting from the crown of the head, scrunch up through the forehead and the nose and the eyes. Squeeze them together, scrunch it up, and then slowly exhale, release all of that tension. So you could actually do this, or you can just imagine yourself do this and then slowly release that tension. Squeezing and pursing your lips together. Maybe squeezing your jaw as long as there's no pain. And then slowly release that tension, exhale out. Shoulders, shrug them up towards the ears, create all of this tension. And exhale, slowly let them release. Take the hands, ball them up into a fist, squeeze them together really tightly. And exhale, slowly release. Create tension through the belly as long as there's no discomfort. Then exhale, slowly release that. Tops of the legs, your quads and the hamstrings, tense them up. And exhale, slowly release. Flex the toes towards the shins. Feel all of that tension. And exhale, slowly release. And then squeeze the toes. Curl them up. Squeeze. And exhale, release that tension. From the toes all the way up through the crown of the head. And the crown of the head down to the toes. Just notice and observe. Focusing on the space behind the forehead. Slowly start to deepen your inhales. Lengthen through your exhales. Bring easy movement back into the body, maybe wiggling fingertips or toes. Move your head from side to side. Full body stretch, reach the arms overhead. And as you're ready, gather knees towards chest, roll over to one side, head resting on bicep. Thank yourself for making it onto your mat. And slowly come up to your seated position when you're ready. Letting the shoulders soften down towards the ground. Feeling the support of your own self. Feeling the support of this practice and of your breath. Bring hands to heart center, press your thumbs towards your heart space. And we'll close our session with one breath together, inhaling through the nose. Open mouth. Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing your practice with me this morning. The light in me honors and respects the light in you. Namaste. Have a great rest of your Sunday.